Edwards eliminated them in the quarterfinal round. I think Johnny and the staff wanted a call there, as Wright ended up on the rug, taken by St. Mary's, and Morrison wanted Cresto to spring. Bischoff ultimately picks it off, and Bischoff will lob it out. Peralt trying to keep it in bounds, but it does just surf out. Morrison back to toss it in. St. Mary's the home team. And for St. Edwards, this club, this St. Edwards Hilltopper team, it has been a bit of an uphill battle. They know their work is cut out for them here tonight at Sigma Beta Chi Field. Bischoff got tangled there with Pendred, and he's going to get a talking to from the referee, Britt. Officials will straighten this out with Bischoff, who seems confused but compliant here. He will fall away as Blasco prepares to tee one up and try to send St. Mary's to another opportunity. The Rattlers, 13-2-2 overall, 8-1-1 in the Lone Star Conference this year. Hilltoppers, 8-7-3. Record not great overall, but 6-2-2 in the conference, and played well at the end of the regular season. Talking to Young before the game, he said when his club came here to St. Mary's early October, he said, we just didn't play very well, didn't really execute. St. Mary's got a goal in the first, later a goal on a set piece in the second. And says his team has just put it together as the season has gone along. I know this Hilltopper team really thrives off of set pieces. As Johnny would say, they work extremely hard. And they've got a team that's found its chemistry. A lot of young guys on this team. There's hardly a senior on this roster. Matthew Parker, he's a senior, but he's not active tonight. Cody Spitzer was in the starting lineup, as was Parker Fife, the first-team all-conference selection. But just a few seniors on this St. Edwards roster. They got a lot to look forward to as the next few years unfold, and they'll have a chance for one of their signature set pieces right here. A foul on the far side just outside the box. And they will have a stretch of 6-7 yards between them and the top of the rectangle right here. 26-19 to go, first half. 2 on the ball here as Murray and Villatoro sort out who will take it. Looks like it's going to be George Murray. Villatoro falling away toward the middle of the field. St. Edwards poised. You would think here to cross it, but there is an argument to be made for taking a shot as well. Shot goes, and Sale had trouble, and it's booted into the top shelf. Couldn't secure it. And the only question is anyone off? I don't think so. Shot and a goal. Mostaza for St. Edwards. The St. Edwards side evens this up at 1-1. Double check here on who got this. But a good goal by St. Edwards. Hilltoppers coming in hotter than a break room microwave at the aluminum foil factory and able to even this game up at 1-1. Hilltoppers get it back to level ground with about 26 to go. And it was Parker Fife, the first-team all-selection, first-team all-Lone Star Conference selection, who gets the goal to go through here for the Hilltoppers. Fife on the goal off the free kick taken by Murray. That was a shot that was not secured by Sales, so no assist here for the guy who took the ball off the tee. For Parker, though, that is the 9th goal of the season. He's done extremely well this year. And shout out to the St. Edwards team. I'll tell you, this team has been very, very good this year in terms of just battling and fighting. And it's a team that just refuses to be outworked. Kudos to their coaching staff, and kudos really to everyone around their program, including Sean Arders, San Antonio native who played for SAFC and is a part of the St. Edwards coaching staff. They get a corner here, play it short. Lobbed into the middle. Second chance here for the Hilltoppers. Deflected out by the Rattlers. Wright tried to get it under control. It deflected back in. It runs all the way to goalie. He comes up to grab it on the other side of the field. 2 goals in the first 20 minutes. Wilson out of the air trying to win that. Right now, you do have to think the Hilltopper team is probably outworking the St. Mary's Club just a little bit. That was sort of the danger that Johnny Clifford identified pregame. He said, if we make it a contest of who will work harder, that's going to give St. Edwards a chance. Obviously not a given that they're going to work harder, but if they make it a game of skill, Johnny said it would be probably his club coming out on top. Sometimes that's just not how it goes, though. Credit St. Edwards a lot for working hard and continuing just to pressure the ball here quite a bit. St. Mary's will get a goal kick out of this here as it finds its way out of the danger area. And now wondered if there's actually a foul assessed. Looks like there was out there in the far corner. It'll be Sale who's going to boot it loose. Sent long, looking for Wright. It ends up off the head of Morrison. Played back here through Jacob Sale, who will have to recover from that free kick that did ultimately escape his grasp. Sure that both keepers have some nerves early, both giving up early goals. Wright trying to become a factor here. Gives it to Ibarachi. Ibarachi space. Ibarachi. Heel kick. Oh, off the bar. Goulian deflects it up off the middle on the shot by Pendred. Recirculates through Morrison. Another opportunity toward Wright. Lasered and bounced away. Pendred trying to stave off defenders. He almost just had his second goal. Goulian with a heck of a save to get a mid on that. Rattlers have now hit a post and a bar. Pendred leaves it back. Ibarachi trying to center. Too many Navy jerseys in the area. Denny Cresto touches it. Ibarachi. And it's stolen away. And St. Edwards can't believe the call, but St. Mary's will have the opportunity from just outside the box here. Wow. What a start. 1-1, and happy you could be with us for it. It has just been one of those crazy, crazy openings. Rattlers and the Hilltoppers, welcome to folks from both sides. Happy to have you with us here this evening. A goal assisted by Lewis Wilson to Adu Pendred open the scoring. About 10 minutes in. About 10 minutes later, St. Edwards evened it up on the rebound goal by Fife, their first team all-conference selection. Wright's free kick ends up in the midst of Goulian. And with 21 to go, we are level here at a goal apiece. Goulian going to try to boot it out, hoping that we can get more of a chance on the side of perhaps the keepers both settling down and giving it a run here. Pendred from Wright. Wright in the middle from Pendred. Clearance stopped up by Smith. Headed away by St. Edwards. Giving chase after Villatoro got a noggin on it. Hilltoppers catch up to the ball. Threaded forward by J.P. Rodriguez, turned back by the Rattler defense. And a Rattler takes a spill here in the middle of the field. Foul coming. With the restart, Wright, little trouble controlling. Payares applying pressure here. Rattler's able to stave it off. Play it back through Sale. Good football match. Good work both sides. So far, 2 pieces of metal to go along with the goal for the Rattler offense. St. Edwards, they've had plenty of chances as well. Spitzer disrupted by Cresto, and Cresto has that one go out of bounds. Cresto stepped in front. Spitzer trying to wheel this one back. Wakeham settled it down, and it looks like St. Edwards was trying to sub there. Ruben Gonzalez in, and Wakeham out for a St. Edwards team. And so far, he's doing a great job to keep the pressure on this side. In here for St. Mary's is going to be Marlon Flores, Kane Smith out of the game. So a sub each team here, some fresh legs. Wright settles one down, trying to wheel it toward Ibarachi. Ibarachi touches it out of the air. Blasco tried to win it. St. Edwards instead. Hilltoppers. Sail. Snatches that out of the air. And it is ruled loose here to Flores. Crossing opportunity ended up in the midst of the St. Mary's keeper. Spitzer to Bischoff. Golian out of the back. Puts it forward. Wright giving chase. Trying to get to it. Good work to force a bad pass here. Wright able to get a little turnage. Taps the brakes. Cross was tipped. Flores tried to run onto it, but a great job by the Hilltopper defense. One sprung back to get in front, or that might have been a goal for Flores. Clifford marshaling the forces from the sideline as St. Mary's goes to the corner kick. Flores will do the honors here. 17-25. And Flores gives it that boot toward the far post. Peralt was trying to run onto it. Tipped down by a couple of Hilltopper heads. Right on a little bit of a miss hit. Sent downfield. Severda locks it up. Severda looking to slot there. Boot over the top. Long volley. Hammered back by Peralt. He'll get the noggin on it. Hilltopper is trying to bring it out of the air. Do a good job here to settle it down. Twirled out by Gonzalez. Spitzer hardly wastes any time. Right back to Golian. There's a lot of spin to it on the clearance. Rainbow down toward Cresto. Off of his head. Hilltopper's giving chase. That was George Murray bursting through there. And Murray sat it for a clear foul. 16:20 to go, first half. Both goals in the first 20 minutes. St. Mary's and St. Edwards. Great rivalry. Traditionally, St. Edwards has given St. Mary's some problems, especially in critical games there in the Austin area. But SMU looking to continue a dream season here tonight. Reboot toward the head of Pendred. Got a little something on it, taken away by Villatoro. Tries to thread it up the far side. Helicopter off the launch pad here. Trying to run onto it was Payares. Rattler defense able to stand strong. Peralt and Payares jockeying for it there, and Peralt did just enough. Sale picks it up, give it a boot. Young Mr. Sale toward Pendred, skips over. Middle of the field, Blasco bursting through. Blasco touches outside. Flores, all the room in the world. Flores with the left foot, tests, and just a little wide. Golian playing it well. He was positioned toward the near post. Has that one go just wide. And Nat Markovic on now for St. Mary's. A couple of subs for St. Edwards should be able to come on as well. That's Kieran First as well as Alexander Tejeda for the St. Edwards team. Payares is off, as is McCullis Clark, the freshman from Cyprus. He is out of this game with less than 15 to go for the time being. Less than 15 to go here in the first half. Hard fought, action packed. Chances both teams. Goals within about 10 minutes of each other. Boot loose by Golian, almost picked off. Markovic just into the game. He had a goal against St. Edwards earlier in the season. Jostling for the ball, winning it here is Fife, the goal scorer. Touch back through Spitzer. Flores fighting for it. On the near side, Fife dumps it in the corner. Spitzer staving off a defenseman. Spitzer looking to get by Flores. Centering here. Hilltoppers trying to get something out of it. St. Edwards looking for a call at the top of the box. And it doesn't come. Markovich couldn't quite slot it back to right. 1-1 game. Less than 14 to go. Guillen plays it out wide. Pop down the far side. Settled down by Rodriguez. Hilltoppers work it back to the middle. Villatoro trying to get loose. Touches it back through Murray. Stolen away by the Rattler defense. Midfield. Pinballs around. Morrison takes it out of the machine. Back into the arcade now with Flores. Hilltoppers, boy, they're doing a phenomenal job to just make the Rattlers work for everything. Hats off to the St. Edward side. They have been really, really good here this evening. First wins that there. Gonzalez on the drop back. Gives it back to first, and it's going to be recirculated through the Hilltopper defense. Rodriguez on the outside made a great initial move. Stifled, though. In the middle, looked like Blasco stepped through there to disrupt. Leonardo Ribeiro on now for George Murray on the Hilltopper side, and Ribeiro is coming in for the guy who started the scoring chance that led to the goal. For St. Edwards, Murray on the initial shot, and then Fife on the finish. This one is squirted out of bounds by the Rattlers after the Hilltoppers worked it in. To Tejeda, another corner coming here for St. Edwards. In some ways, the first 33 minutes of this match have belonged to the Hilltoppers. Went down early, but right now they have to feel good about where they are. And for them, they are playing for the season here. Have to win the tournament. It would seem to get into the regional. St. Mary's probably there either way, barring some sort of massive surprise. The corner. Hilltoppers got a piece of it. Ibarachi tried to slide it out to right. Right stays with the plate, takes it away from the Hilltoppers. Loose in the vending machine. Right stops up. Ibarachi calling for it on the near side. Rattlers desperately trying to get it to it, but again, St. Edwards stepping in and taking it away. This club is outworking St. Mary's right now. Fife on that takeaway. And for St. Mary's, it is going to be a long evening if they cannot make it more into their game. There's a bop loose by the Rattler back line. Johnny's saying pre-game, Johnny Clifford. There's a volley attempt. Ends up loose toward the middle. Initial attempt was by first. Rattlers turned it away, but Clifford was saying it's one thing that worried him about this match. St. Edwards playing really to keep its season alive, just to keep going. Said he did not see any signs of complacency from St. Mary's during the week of practice. Said it was a great week of practice. Guys working hard, staying sharp. But obviously it's hard to simulate the hunger of an opponent playing really with its back against the wall down the stretch of the regular season, trying to earn an opportunity to host a game in the Lone Star Conference quarterfinal round. And then you end up with a shot to get through against Lubbock Christian. They took full advantage, and now St. Edwards making this game their own. Here, a shot, Sale! Able to parry that. Opportunity there by Tejeda. And Sale able to knock it down, grab it before it could get away again. 50 degrees, cold conditions. Hands are cold for everybody, and these keepers have got to be sure to keep them warm. Lock up this ball when it does come toward him. Ibarachi, who swung back out to the far side, trying to orchestrate here. Ibarachi in the middle. Touch forward, Markovich. Couldn't quite run onto it. Hilltoppers trying to break it out. Ribeiro tried to break it loose. Blasco stopping it up. Blasco just recirculates through Cresto. Morrison gives it here to Peralt. Peralt to Flores. Pressure from Spitzer. Flores contained on the sideline, was looking for the corner, nobody there. Markovic up top, and then you've got an attack-minded right. Hanging here toward the near side, Ibarachi on the far side of the midfield, Blasco in the middle. Cresto coming out here for St. Mary's, and it's Luis Sanchez who takes his place. Looks like it'll be Kean Foley as well for St. Mary's stepping on. For St. Edwards, Grant Vernon has just checked into the game. Vernon, the lone sub for St. Edwards, 2 for St. Mary's. Golian, who's played pretty well despite the early goal given up on the boot. Bounced off the head of Blasco towards Sanchez. Ends up with Morrison out of the back trying to make a run. Flores had it briefly, ends up back with Morrison. Fortunate bounce for the Rattlers. Morrison couldn't make much of it. Sent forward by Vernon, played back by Peralt to Sale, and Sale to Peralt. Will ultimately get the combo for the save. Get it out, Blasco. Challenged hard by Ribeiro, able to keep possession. Circulate it, Morrison and Peralt here. Pass it around with about 7.5 to go. And just ease it back through Sale. The St. Mary's team predicated on an attacking style. And trying to get Ibarachi and Wright going here. Obviously, Markovic is the fresh legs. He'd love a good run himself. Flores. Flores from Ibarachi going to work. Flores, good step by. Cross a little too close to the keeper. Gobbled up with ease by Golian. Perfect positioning from him. Bringing it out was Villatoro. Touch to first. Bounce down off the foot of Tejeda. Ends up back with the Rattlers just about midfield. Sanchez starts it backward. Morrison, Foley, looking for something to develop. Liam in the middle. Blasco, out of the gumball machine, wants to dispense the candy somewhere. Blasco back to Wilson. Lewis goes putting. Foley had to go off his foot. Tejeda takes it away. Immediately finds a teammate. Tejeda opening up out wide. They try to go to Ribeiro. Out of the middle, the pass came off the foot of First. Taken away easily by the Rattlers. Wilson to Ibarachi, and Ibarachi room to run. Ibarachi at the track meet. Ibarachi trying to thread the needle, and I think Sanchez was offside. Or was he? Looks like there might have been a foul here assessed on the pass. Indeed, that'll be the case. Foul coming against St. Edwards. And we will have a boot here by Blasco, with Markovic opening up outside. Now he's going to curl back toward the top of the box. Blasco elevates this into the tackle box, but parried very well by St. Edwards. Credit their defense, the nice stand there. Boot is grabbed by Wright on the sideline. He's come out of this game in favor of Foley, resting down the stretch of the first half. Per usual here for St. Mary's. 1-1 game. St. Mary's and St. Edwards. Great football match right now here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Markovic, we know he can throw it long here at St. Mary's. Looking to get it there to Wilson. Only question is, who did it go off here? And indeed, it went off St. Edwards. Hilltoppers. Pretty good defense there, right on Wilson, but defender touched it out of bounds, and the Rattlers will have a chance. Blasco from the corner. Going to give it the boot. Blasco, the captain. That's a good boot. The Rattlers might have been a little close to the keeper there. Looked like Bischoff went to the ground, and Wilson was right there in front of the net. So we're going to check in with the referee. Maybe saying he was the one that got pushed. That is my best guess, based on the body language. Willian and the Hilltoppers withstand. And now they will boot it loose. Special shout out to anybody we have up there in the fine city of Austin, Texas, listening with us tonight. Shout out to the St. Edwards Athletic Director, Debbie Taylor, as well as the SID, Megan Harden. They both do a great job, and happy to have you with us here in the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. St. Edwards, in many ways, probably in most ways, the better team here in the first half. They have really put their stamp on this game so far. Goal by Pendred, a wizard-like finish. It was quickly responded to by the Hilltoppers. Just in terms of cleaner play, more energy, better on the 50-50s, you have to give it to the Hilltoppers right now. And I'm not just saying that because this is a neutral broadcast here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Really do think St. Edwards has been the better club. Ibarachi trying to change the narrative, running onto that. And that is what they would call in basketball an offensive foul. So that Ibarachi was doing maybe a little too much jostling there, trying to get to the ball in the corner. And St. Edwards will jar it out as we get under 3 to go in the first half. We got a 15-minute break at halftime. And this is a playoff game, so we're only going to take 14 minutes and 25 seconds to ourselves. Come back after those 14:25 are gone and get you updated on the stats, resume the live play-by-play. This one might be going more than 90. I just have a feeling that this team here at St. Edwards is going to get their feet under them at Sigma Beta Chi Field, even a little bit more than they already have. They've looked like the more confident team. The host Rattlers here on their own pitch have looked a little out of sorts. St. Mary's trying to find a little more traction. This St. Edwards team, though, giving the Rattlers quite a bit of problem. Here in the early going, Markovich trying to turn. At St. Mary's for this Lone Star Conference Tournament for the first time in men's soccer program history, hosting the Lone Star Conference Tournament. And this is the first time the St. Mary's Club has been the regular season conference champion, whether in the Heartland or the Lone Star. Flores saying this should stay with St. Mary's, but it's going to be the Hilltoppers in the toss. Certainly hosting comes with quite a bit of pressure, and in the top overall seed and the regional bid is right there in grasp. Sometimes you can fall into a little trap. Good idea here by St. Edwards. But it does run out of bounds before Grand Vernon can get to it. Trying to make a late push with 75 seconds left in the half. Vernon almost ran onto it. Goes out of bounds. For St. Mary's, this has been a season in some ways of defying expectations. A club that was not in the top 25 to start the regular season. And of course, the Lone Star has had so many teams in the top 25, whether you go to West Texas, Midwestern State, on and on. Texas A&M International, a lot of nationally ranked teams. Rattlers right now with the dream season all the way up to number 6, the top drawer soccer poll, 11 of the United Soccer Coaches poll. It's one of those deals where sometimes playing as the favorite can present a completely and totally different set of challenges. And so much of it is mental. Wright and Pendred resting here at the end of the first half. Not sure we'll see a final push here for St. Mary's with just about 20 seconds to go. St. Edwards, on the other hand, they might have one last gasp in them here. Toss coming with 10 seconds. Spitzer gets it in toward the end line. Morrison steps through and takes it away from Vernon. We're headed on to the halftime break. They always play the sheep noise here at St. Mary's University to signify halftime. And we are heading on to it. 1-1 our score. St. Edwards, the harder working club there in the first, they have taken this game to level ground after the early goal by Pendred. A great finish by Fife to make it 1-1. St. Mary's, St. Edwards continuing on in 15 minutes. My name's Joey Zanaboni. I'll be back 14 minutes, 25 seconds right here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Stay with us live from Sigma Beta Chi Field on the campus of St. Mary's University in the great state of Texas, San Antonio, the place to be tonight. Back here on the campus of St. Mary's University in beautiful San Antonio, Texas, Joey Zanaboni live from the park, Sigma Beta Chi Field on the campus of SMU, where the Rattlers and the Hilltoppers of St. Edwards are tied 1-1 at halftime. That halftime is about to wrap up, which means we are about to get going once again right here on your home for Lone Star Conference Athletics, the LSC Digital Network. Pleasure to have you with us wherever you are tuning in from. Now, I will have to say that first half was among the most exciting we have seen here at Sigma Beta Chi Field this season. An early goal by Edu Tony Pendred, 10:04 in, assisted by both Lewis Wilson and Ollie Wright. Wright also credited with an assist on that goal by Pendred. Edu with his 9th goal of the season. It was also the 9th goal for Parker Fife. Came about 9 minutes after the goal by Pendred. A shot by Payares, and ultimately Payares has been given an assist as well. We thought initially that it was a shot. That was parried by Sale. He could not handle it. Fife ended up putting it in the back of the net, not initially crediting Payares with the assist, but officially he will get one here. So we are here to report the facts, and those are the facts of the first half. Another fact for you: St. Edwards outshot St. Mary's 12-4, 6-2 on target. There were 5 saves by the St. Mary's keeper Sale, and St. Mary's did control the ball for 53% of the time, 47% of the time for St. Edwards. Their keeper, Goyan, led in the early goal, but he also made a save in that first half, and I thought he did a good job to keep pretty good positioning and make sure St. Mary's did not find the net after the magical goal by Pendred in the early going. I would have to say that St. Edwards probably, quote-unquote, won the first half. Obviously more chances. And for a team that is on the road here at St. Mary's, getting to halftime at 1-1 is probably winning the first half. But 45 minutes to go, and St. Mary's is really trying to, I'm sure, get a few players going who have been huge for this club this season, including Ollie Wright, who takes the opening tap right back to Wilson, who plays it toward the far corner. Pendred sprinting after it. This will run long as Bischoff lets it head out of bounds. St. Edwards may be trying to push up a little bit. They will have to backpedal with it and toss it further toward the flag stick. And St. Mary's, they got the assist from Wright, but St. Edwards did a good job to take the Conference Player of the Year away in the middle of the field. He didn't have too many opportunities. See if they can get him going. And for St. Edwards, I think it's just got to be more of the same. Club really, I think, outworked the Rattlers in that first half, and that was sort of the danger that Johnny Clifford alluded to before the game. Said, if we make it into a contest of who can work harder, St. Edwards will certainly have a good shot, because this is a very hard-working team. They've got a great coach in Brian Young, really one of the best in the Lone Star Conference, taking a young team this year and doing a very good job with them to get them to this point. Wright trying to take that one out of the ozone layer, ended up slipping, falling a little bit. It is kind of a wet night. Had a little fog earlier, maybe a touch of it still hanging around, and hasn't been the cleanest match that we have seen. It's a little bit cold as well. Maybe the conditions helping St. Edwards a little bit. Both teams obviously have to play through them, and St. Mary's is going to have to adjust. See if we can get ourselves a really good half of football once again here in half number 2. Certainly had in half number 1. And, pleasure to bring it to you live here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. That was George Murray trying to push it outside to J.P. Rodriguez. Runs out of bounds. The challenge for St. Edwards may be finding that second goal. This team has been good, but at times struggled finding multiple goal games. 32 total goals coming into play tonight, and that is in 18 games. So less than 2 goals per contest this season for St. Edwards. Battle in the corner. Flicked out. It's pretty well done there by the St. Mary's defender Enrique Cerverda to keep it alive, stave off the attackers, ultimately gets a toss out of it. Ibarachi on the move. Ibarachi streaking, looking to poke something through there to Pendred. Zausch, good defense, able to take it away. Clark, freshman from Cyprus, helps to triangulate this, gets it back. Collis Clark Ultimately, his chance turned away by the Rattlers. Blasco right out of the middle. Blasco sends it outside. Morrison on the move. Morrison jogs with it, touches it back through Blasco. Circulated outdoors. Grabbed by Cresto. Denny, youngster from Brazil, swings it to Ibarachi. And this is something we see St. Mary's do quite a bit. Play through Ibarachi, goes in the middle right, couldn't quite get to it. Slips by him. Ends up with St. Edward's. Parker Fife on the outside. Cody Spitzer, the senior out of McKinney. One of just 3 seniors on this roster. Trying to help bring it out. St. Mary's, I thought early did a great job to kind of keep St. Edward's pin deep. We had that almost insane goal where a clearance hit Wilson in the head. He was on the ground at the time, hit him in the head, and then bounced off the post. As the half went on, though, it looked like St. Edward's was a little more comfortable clearing it out. Obviously, toward the second half of that first 45, Wright, Pendred headed for the rest. Expect them to be in for pretty much the remainder of the game, at least Wright. So there's less pressure on the St. Edward's defense here. They commit a foul on the far side, and we'll have an opportunity to blast it with the set piece. Chance for the Rattlers here after the 11th Hilltopper foul. They certainly have played physical here this evening. 11 fouls now for St. Edward's. That one popped up. Some jostling at the top of the box. Does draw a whistle here. Wright is ready to try to volley it here for St. Mary's, but it ends up as a free chance coming out here for the Hilltoppers, and they try to take advantage. Sending forward toward Payares. Cleared here, flicked on by a Rattler ahead, but picked up by Waco. Circulated outside. Booted by Goulian. Rattlers trying to win it. Not cleanly done, though. Blasco touches it back. Sale out with it. Scooped up by Villatoro. Villatoro looking for something to materialize out wide. Slotted back in the middle here for Waco. Putted, J.P. Rodriguez. Clark curls it back. Over the top goes Wakeham. Wilson enduring a test here. Payares tried to get to it. St. Edward's wanted a call there as Payares went down. Sale, though, able to grab it. Sale takes it away on what looked like it might be a dangerous opportunity for Payares. Cresto in the middle. Blasco. Ibarachi is calling for it on the near side. Blasco keeps it far side. Touch forward. In the middle, right. Clever little fake there from Ali, the player of the year. Give and go a little with Smith and then Pendred. Wright couldn't quite get it back, though, as the Hilltoppers play some great defense. St. Mary's, especially Ali Wright, so good at passing in small spaces. There's a goal this team scored to get out to an early lead against Tyler in the final game of the regular season. How about Ibarachi here? That was done in that style. Ibarachi takes it away and sends one wide. He ended up on the carpet, and the St. Mary's bench looking for a call. It won't come. Ibarachi does a good job on the takeaway. He has been hungry for the ball here in the early going of the second half. Creating his own opportunity there, and we've got St. Edward's coming out with it. This team thoroughly outshot St. Mary's in the first half. Possession was fairly equal. St. Edward's, though, it just seemed like they were getting to more of the 50-50 balls. And after they got that first goal, they started playing with quite a bit of confidence. Rattlers trying to get another lead to get this crowd back into it. Certainly that favors St. Mary's, though St. Edward's has traveled well as well. Launch forward here coming out of the hands of J.P. Rodriguez. Hilltoppers play it in the corner. St. Edward's struggling to control it. Looked like Fife slipped and fell. Actually, let me take that back. Payares slipped and fell. And It's left by Wilson for Severda to fire out. Ibarachi gets to that, pops it toward the middle. Held up by the Hilltopper attack. They circulate it. Fife was the one to take it away in the slot. He's ultimately the one to get it back on the near side. Murray set up Fife on the free kick that ultimately led to the goal there in the first half. Or at least we thought he did. Ultimately, Piares was the one who got the credit for the assist. Murray on the outside here. Helps to orchestrate it back toward the middle. Slotted on by Zausch. Good interruption, though, by Pendred. Pendred down the near side, touches back to Ibarachi. Martin in the middle, right. Trying to flick it back to him. And again, a good defensive stand by St. Edwards. How about Ibarachi staying with the play? It's what he does. He's a defender, but an attacking-minded defender in this scheme. Disrupted there briefly. Hilltoppers calm and composed. Take it back. And try to switch the field. Bischoff against Wright. Kane Smith trying to trap it there on the near side. Having to clean it up. Peralt trying to get an attacker loose on that far side. Piares can't quite get to it. Ibarachi to Pendred, defender on his back, tries the heel pass. Looking in the corner maybe for Severda, who's making a run. Now Enrique has to get back as the Hilltoppers try to orchestrate. Fife in the middle. Touch to Murray. Sent on to the outside, Rodriguez. With Ibarachi right there in the neighborhood. Battling with it, Johnny Clifford wanted an out-of-bounds call, and ultimately that flag is up. St. Edwards blasting it away. Here 10 minutes into the second half, Luis Sanchez is going to come on here for St. Mary's. Well, I'll tell you, great first half of football. It really was a lot of fun to watch. And here in the second, we've had certainly a continuation of that. Just two evenly matched clubs with some great, great players on both sides. And for St. Edwards, right now things going according to plan. Rattlers trying to make this a little more to our liking on the way of just controlling the ball. It has not been that classic St. Mary's game in terms of connecting passes and working through the midfield. Haven't quite been able to get those clean sequences, assert the will in the small spaces with the crisp passing. There's a hot air balloon toward Ibarachi. Got a head on it, at least forces a clearance out of bounds. And we'll see if this St. Mary's team can make a little something out of it. Ibarachi looking for someone to come forward. Severda helping him out of the clearance by Murray, who sent it out of bounds. Severda looking for Pendred. Pendred toward the end line. Able to curl one on a crossing attempt. Banged it into a St. Edwards defender. Severda again will take it. Ibarachi, Pendred close to the ball. Look to go short to Pendred, but a little bit predictable there. Adu has been the point man for St. Mary's tonight. He has the goal. A bit of a miss hit here by Villatoro. Rattlers catch a break. Trying to go quickly, and Blasco sent to the ground. Referee Cruz saying play on. Bursting out with it was Fife. Severda slowed him up, and Fife might have hooked it there and sort of spun him toward the ground. Whistle does come out. 13 fouls now in the game for St. Edwards. And let's see if maybe Morrison Wright can put the key in the ignition here. Ball runs by Blasco. Before Ibarachi could get to it, just blasted away by the Hilltoppers. Again, hats off to St. Edwards. These guys have done a phenomenal job tonight. And for St. Mary's, it's just one of those deals where The stamp of the game has got to be changed. Up in the upper right-hand corner of this 90-minute envelope. Just not a lot of signature for St. Mary's on the game right now. St. Edward's have withstood quite a bit. Oh, how about Pendred just bulldozing through, got it back from Blasco, but ultimately it's cleared away. And again, great job by St. Ed's to make the recovery after it looked like the Rattlers would burst through there. Pendred has played a terrific game. He's hit a crossbar in addition to his goal on a ball that was tipped by Goulian. And I will tell you that Edu Pendred has had really the biggest impact on this game of any Rattler so far. See if maybe we can see someone else step up. Oh, that's a goal for St. Edwards. Mustaza! They finish past Sale for McAuliffe Clark. Hilltoppers take a 2-1 advantage. Watch out. St. Edwards. Hotter than a break room microwave at the aluminum foil factory right now. And again, hats off to St. Edwards for making the most of opportunities. A blast by Clark. And a heck of a goal there. Maybe a little out of position, Sale. But all the credit in the world to McAuliffe Clark. Youngster, he's just a freshman from Nicosia, Cyprus. And for Clark, that's what it's all about in the postseason. Finishing the opportunities you get. He's now got 3 goals on the year. That's a good freshman campaign. Obviously, this is the most important one. We have certainly got a great game on our hands, and thankful that you are with us for it right here on the Rattler Athletic Network. Is actually where we usually are. Today we are just through Lone Star Conference TV. Lone Star Conference Digital Network here for our neutral broadcast. And this broadcast, we'd like to think, has been neutral. I've been trying my best to keep it as neutral as I can. I got to keep it like my Toyota Corolla. I prefer to keep that thing in neutral as well. Getting it towed to a local Jiffy Lube. Keep it in neutral. And I really have had a lot of appreciation for the way that St. Edwards has played here today. And trying my best to keep the hope alive for St. Mary's, but obviously I am in the role of Walter Cronkite, just the impartial journalist out here for you this evening. Luis Sanchez trying to thread here to Pendred. Ripped away after being turned away by St. Edwards. Wondering if maybe Johnny Clifford, the St. Mary's head coach, will think about putting Nenad Markovic into the game with Pendred. Pendred's been so effective, I don't know that you can really keep him out for an extended period. Gotta find some way, though, to get a little more oomph up top, maybe putting Markovic in with him. Goal by Clark, again a great one, and great pass as well by George Murray. The junior from League City, Texas, slotted it well to Clark, who's at it again. Here he crosses, but it's just green grass. And ends up meeting it. Morrison runs it down far side. Rattler's still plenty of time, about 30 to go, still in the game. Wright, who has an assist, but a little quiet by his standards, trying to get him going. It's been tough. It's been a lot of that. St. Edwards has pressured the ball very well. They've pressured our attackers, staying right on the back. Pressure there by Zausch on Pendred, very good. William Morrison on the far side, trying to carry it out. It's a rare sight to see a Rattler team that has been unbeatable at home this season down like this in the second half. Again, though, it's tough to beat St. Edwards in a year, twice. And a coaching staff that is among the best in the business in terms of making adjustments. And that's something that I know Brian Young takes quite a bit of pride in, is kind of being the Bill Belichick type of coach Hard to beat them once, much harder to beat them twice. Launch out a restart here for the Rattlers, who are 7-0-1 at home this season. Oh, Pendred off a bicycle from Blasco, had a chance. Stymied, though, by the St. Edward's defense. Cresto touches it back through Morrison. Again, just stymied as the Rattlers were getting going. Ibarachi touches it back through Cresto. St. Mary's coming off a 1-1 tie here on Senior Day against Lubbock Christian. That was the first game the team did not win at home this season, but still have not drawn a loss. We'll have two-minute overtime periods if we do require them, if St. Mary's can draw level. And then we will have potentially a shootout to determine who goes through to face Midwestern State on Sunday. It's going to be a heck of a matchup. Either team, I think, would match up really well with Midwestern State. St. Edward's just fell to them 1-0. Obviously, St. Mary's has beaten Midwestern twice, including once on this field this season. Looks like Sale is out. Jacob Sale is coming out of the game for St. Mary's. It's Gerard Roebuck who will now be in goal for St. Mary's. Two subs. Kieran Furse and Alexander Tejeda on for St. Edwards. It looks like they've got Villatoro and Fife coming off. So some switching done here, both sides. Sale, again, probably out of position on the goal by Clark. Not to take anything away from Clark. Did a great job to finish it off a really good feed from Murray. But we are sort of looking at the need to make the switch here in the box score column. If you are carrying on and marking all this down at home in your scorebook, go ahead and mark down Roebuck for Sale with about 27 to go. Gary Tucker, Grant Mobley getting out of the way of that ball out of bounds. Mobley was a star for many years at St. Edwards, helped them to 3 straight Lone Star Conference tournament titles. In his last 3 years up there in Austin, now he's a coach at St. Mary's trying to take down his former program. Ending up on the ground there was number 24, J.P. Rodriguez. He's out. To report he's not out. He is down on the grass and quickly back up off of it. Pendred now out of the game, and Markovich has come on for the Rattlers. So a switch in the back with Roebuck, and a switch way up top with Markovich trying to give the Rattlers a little more offense. Not a lot going here in the second half. Poke up in the air. Sanchez tried to win it. Poked down by the Hilltoppers. Sanchez maybe looking for a call there. Grant Vernon on the heavy pressure. Got it out of bounds. Ultimately off of St. Mary's. Toss goes long. Rattlers trying to clean it up in the back. Wilson will leave it for the Hilltoppers to throw in. Toss again is going to come from J.P. Rodriguez. And might be the old time management game here. Soccer is a lot like Boggle. It all depends on the timer. And Rodriguez is going to be the one to launch this ball with just over 24 to go. This will be the first test for Roebuck. Swept out. Ibarachi trying to get it completely out. Good pressure there from St. Edwards. Johnny Clifford, commanding voice from the sideline saying no fouls. Blasco trying to get it cleanly out to Sanchez. Maybe slipped a little bit. Clever pass to right. Right, space to operate. Right against Wakeham. Inched it outside. St. Edwards almost turns it back. It's lasered into the St. Mary's section of the stands. A lot of blankets, a lot of coats. A lot of snow caps over there, a lot of gloves, cold nights. Good fan base, though, for each side. And St. Mary's faithful hoping the Rattlers can find a way to level this up at twos. Ibarachi with a no-look pass. And Blasco sent to the ground, and now Ibarachi sent to the ground himself. Murray pointing to the linesman. Saying I didn't do anything, or perhaps actually that was Zhao, and indeed it was Zhao on the foul. It's 13 fouls now for St. Edwards. Blasco with 23 and change to go is going to put it on the tee. After the foul by Zhao, an opportunity here for the Rattlers. Blasco.
Let's go, boys. Come on, St. Mary's. Come on, boys.
Blasco curls it toward the middle. Headed back by the Hilltoppers. Sanchez. Taken away, stays with the play. Ultimately stolen here by Clark, the goal scorer. Right now, his is the game winner. Markovic, who was great against St. Edwards in early October. Gonna run onto that there. Nothing doing. 22 and change now to go. Again, a switch made a little before the halfway point of the second period in net. Rattlers going from Sale to Roebuck. Roebuck, junior, also from Australia, 6'4", he's from Lithgow, Australia. Trying to keep this 2-1. Rattlers make something of it here. Out of the back. Wilson plays it forward. Cresto touches here to Morrison. Looking to weave it back in the middle. Blasco back to Cresto. Again, St. Edwards doing a great job to just get to the ball. This team has really swarmed it tonight. Credit their fire, their hunger. They're playing for their season right now. And that, again, was sort of a point of emphasis. Johnny trying to prepare his club, Johnny Clifford, trying to prepare these Rattlers for the opportunity to play against a team that really has everything and yet nothing to lose tonight. Some bumping in the middle of the field. Sanchez and Murray both hearing a word or two from the referee. Up to 20 fouls now in this game, 7 against St. Mary's. It was Blasco who committed the foul there, middle of the field. Launch long, Wilson elevating, getting ahead on it. Ibarrachi able to poke it out. Sanchez near side. Sanchez looking for the middle. Ends up caroming back to the near side. Clark recirculates. Punched forward by the St. Edwards defense. Felipe Latoure was the one to play it to the corner. Hilltoppers thought they'd have a corner out of that. Instead, it's Roebuck who's going to switch sides here and try to get St. Mary's going on that far side. Sub coming, Murray out, and this is Mason Wallach, freshman out of Keller, Texas, who is going to come into this game for the boys from St. Edwards. Button pushed by Roebuck. Off of Ibarrachi's head, Sanchez got a boot on it. Back to the middle, out of the gumball machine. Candy not quite dispensed. St. Edwards, they are just chasing after that ball like it's got a magnet in it. Murray out of the game. Subbed out just moments ago, especially him, in my opinion. He's done a great job for St. Edwards, but a lot of different names have been out there and doing a really good job of just getting to the ball and limiting opportunities for St. Mary's. Conference Player of the Year, Ollie Wright. He's just looking for some space to operate, but they've done a good job to close him down. Wallach right on him there. Didn't quite get it to him. First has been around him. A lot of different Hilltoppers have taken turns, just finding right on the field and making sure he can't get the ball. Go-to for St. Mary's has been going to Ibarrachi to create out the edge. Ibarrachi trying to stave off a defender there and get to that. Disrupting, though, Rodriguez ran through it. Should be a sub coming here for St. Mary's. And wondering if we'll get him in here. It's going to be Flores for Ollie Wright, who's going to get a little rest, I'm sure, before returning in the closing minutes. Wow, 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 wow. What a ball game here tonight. Pleasure to be with you for it. A lot of fun here on our neutral broadcast on the great Lone Star Conference digital network. 14th foul of the game here for St. Edwards is going to give Blasco a chance from just inside the sideline. Foul goes on Rodriguez. Blasco certainly will be crossing here. Who can run on to it? A little bit low. Sanchez almost got the hit, and it ends up out of the box. Rattler's shot was turned back. Rattler's briefly saying there might have been a hand that impacted it. And then in the middle of the field, a whistle comes out. I believe this will be Grant Vernon who's cited for a foul there, trying to win that and break away. Vernon trying to make the run there. Boo loose will come off the foot of Wilson. Springs it to Blasco to quarterback. Blasco lasers it toward the top of the box. Almost slips through. Ibarachi hard on the ground. And it's Mr. Golian who is able to scoop it up. Pretty good job there by Blasco to set it up off the restart. Golian ultimately, though, proving his mettle as he has for a good stretch of the season. Keeping has been a strong suit tonight for St. Edwards. Golian's done a good job, though. He hasn't had to face much here in the late going. Pressure coming on Roebuck, has to get that away. Trying to close it down was Vernon. A minute or so ago, we said that Vernon had been cited for a foul. That was actually Cody Spitzer away from the ball. That gave that restart that Wilson took to St. Mary's. And Blasco here hammered to the ground. Draws another foul on the St. Edwards Hilltoppers. Blasco will be the one to take it here with 16 and change to go. Straight on angle, well outside the rectangle. Believe the foul went on Tejeda. Confirm that momentarily. Blasco with plenty of white jerseys toward the top of the box. Blasco with the score 2-1. Looking to help get the equalizer. Loft! Mostaza! Incredible! What a ball! What a finish! They're delirious here at St. Mary's. Prying this one open like campus security had to do when I got trapped inside that porta potty. Hey, I tell you, that was a heck of a morning. And that was a heck of a goal. What a finish from Alan Peralt. Unbelievable. Peralt from Blasco with about 16 to go. And it's all level 2-2. My word. A clearance by Roebuck. Bangs off of Vernon, and with the cold weather, he really felt that shot. It deflected toward the sideline. Should stay with St. Mary's. Vernon, I think, had the wind knocked out of him there, obviously, anytime you get that from close range, you are going to be in some pain, but especially with this cold weather. Back to the goal, though. Wow. Peralt from Blasco, beautiful ball. And for Peralt, he's a guy who's up at the top of the box on a lot of those type of set pieces. He'll get into the box on the corners. He's got really good height, 6'2", 6'3", good nose for the ball. And I'll tell you, happy for both teams here in our neutral broadcast for playing a great game so far. These last 15 are going to be a lot of fun. Blasco was sent to the ground there and looked like. But wondering if maybe he wasn't the one to commit the foul. Looks like he's actually drawn a card. Blasco ended up down, but ends up with the yellow card as well. For Peralt, the goal is his first of the season and now 18 games. Prior to that, he had 9 shots, but nothing that had found its way to the back of the net. Blasco just drew the card, I think, for diving. St. Edwards playing it forward. They say corner. Referees say it is going to be a goal kick. And indeed, that was a dive there on Blasco that drew the yellow card. Just wanted to confirm that. Boy, oh boy. I'll tell you, it's a good thing we are getting paid by the minute up here, because we're, I think, going to have 20 extra minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if this game ended up in a penalty shootout. But you know what? That is going to be a lot of fun if we get there. I'll tell you, it has already been a lot of fun tonight. I was just going to stay home and watch Frazier straight through for a 4th time, but this is much more exciting. Chance brewing here for St. Edwards. First on the outside, Rattler's trying to contain. First looking to thread a needle. Rattler defense standing tall. Some good work by Severda to stifle what looked like a promising opportunity for St. Edwards. Complexion of the game has completely changed. Down 2-1 after a goal by Clark. St. Mary's with one of the prettiest goals in the Lone Star Conference this season. Blasco to Peralt, with about 16 to go, have created a tie game and tangle up here in the middle of the field. This game has had plenty of fouls. Hey, more fouls than a factory chicken farm out here tonight. 20 plus. This one is going to be on St. Mary's. 24 to be exact. 8 of them on St. Mary's and 16 on St. Edwards. St. Edwards is probably the more physical team. They have certainly brought the fight here to the home of the Rattlers tonight. Good idea here from J.P. Rodriguez. Send it forward. Roebuck right there to claim it off the cross from first. Gerard Roebuck, who just came into this game about 14 minutes ago. Hasn't been too heavily tested yet. Routine play, he made it. Right, fortunate bounce. Tried to send it on. Markovic was trying to make a run there. Right, maybe a little early on the passing attempt, and thought we might see Pendred again, and indeed Adu is going to come in. Ali Wright returned right after the goal, and now Adu Pendred is going to return here just about 3.5 minutes after it. Markovic out. Markovic a little quiet here this evening. He was great down the stretch of the season. Ended up scoring in 5 of the last 6 games for the Rattlers. Not able to put anything together goal-scoring-wise yet. Pendred, obviously, he's got one. Opening stage is about 10 minutes in. He had 2 against UT Tyler in the closer of the regular season. He was really, really good at that one, especially in the second half. Ibarachi challenging here. Rattler sideline wanted a call. Pendred, midfield. Heavy pressure coming here by Rodriguez. Cresto trying to maintain possession. Hustle by Payares almost takes it away. Cresto can't quite pick it up cleanly. Volleys. Blasco to Pendred, knocks it down. Little heel pass. Blasco was saying his jersey was being held. Rattler's sideline saying the same thing. Wilson tries to coast it forward. Ruben Gonzalez, who's into the game now for St. Edwards, parries it back. Cresto looking for Pendred, and they are really watching Pendred very, very closely, trying to give him 0 room to operate with. St. Edwards, materialization here on the outside. Cross and cleared by the Rattlers. Out to right. And Ali trying to switch directions immediately. Thought about going to Ibarachi. Swarming him was Gonzalez. Poked outside. Rattlers lose it briefly. Blasco Goes to get it. St. Edward's saying one of their players got pushed there. Both sides making protestations with the referees. Severda steps past first with a clever move. Does it again with the cutback. Some slipping and falling. Pushed outside. Denny Cresto, good idea there. Rattlers trying to quarterback from the far edge. Oh, here you go. Rattlers, and it's turned away by Goyan. Good kick save by the St. Edward's keeper. Good chance as well, created off that far edge. I believe that was Flores on the shot. Flores had a decent look. Indeed, it was him who got the shot off. Rattlers will take the kick for the far side.
Hey! Hey! Jeffrey 2! Jeffrey 2! Jeffrey!
I think they want Carlos Blasco to go take the corner kick here. As Kean Foley comes into the game. And Blasco is going to very, very slowly make his way over there toward that far corner. 9:12 to go. Kean Foley again into the game here. Blasco going to take the corner. It was going to be Cresto, but Cresto is coming out. Foley for Cresto, so Cresto is the one making his way off the field along the end line here. Blasco from the corner. Rattlers just scored off the set piece from Blasco. Does he have another bit of magic in him? Blasco goes short to right. Gets it right back. Blasco trying to go forward. St. Edward's well done to defend that. Rolled along the gutter. Morrison just lets it roll into the gutter. Is this fun or what? 8.5 to go. And I will tell you what, folks. It is nice and chilly. And this is exactly how I like my soccer. I don't care if I'm sitting inside of a refrigerator or out at a soccer game. I like it cold. And it is nice and cool here, but the action is red hot. I mean scorching hot. Both teams with just a phenomenal performance here tonight. Both showing a lot of tenacity. Both have overcome a 1-goal deficit. And a big-time shout-out to St. Edward's, their side, with their head coach Brian Young. A great program up there at St. Edward's, not just soccer. Their entire athletic program headed up by Debbie Taylor, one of the best in the business in terms of athletic directors. And I'll tell you, St. Edward's, they take a lot of pride in fighting to the finish. Rattlers certainly the same under the lights here of Sigma Beta Chi Field, trying to make it happen. Severda, nutmeg there against first, got the sideline going, but St. Edward's wins it away. Shout out to St. Mary's Athletic Director Rob Coleman, as well as our SID Tom Norris, who has helped to make this possible tonight. Fife trying to get to that. Good job to turn it back by the Rattler defense. And Fife was the last to touch it. Some good work there by Peralt to stave it off. Now it's outside. Flores maybe overran it a touch there. Able to recirculate it through Morrison. In the middle, it swung to Severda. Moved laterally, Severda. Once Ibarachi. They've done a pretty good job of containing him on the edge. It's a clever turn, though, from Martin. Oh, Martin. He wanted a through ball to right and just missed it. Had the idea. Execution a little bit frayed, though. Severda to Foley. Kian maybe obstructed there a little bit by Fife. Got him in the boot. Just going for the ball. Fife held the hands up, but he has whistled. And now it's Blasco again on the free kick from a good distance. This is how St. Mary's just scored with Peralt to equalize this game about 11 minutes ago. Will it be more magic from Blasco? See how St. Edwards adjusts. Blasco, this time a lower laser toward the middle of the box. Rattler attacker, looked like Ibarachi slipped and fell. Hilltoppers emerge with it, first with pace. Blasco does a good job to get back and front the ball. Foley, dance step back toward the middle. Peralt the hero right now with the header that spoke 1,000 languages. Boy, oh boy. You know, even if you only speak 900 languages, you're doing pretty well. Ibarachi sent down there. Viatura ripped him down, and the St. Mary's sideline wants a card, saying he got Ibarachi in the head there. Now the St. Mary's sideline is going to be shown a yellow card. Protestations from the entire staff.
You guys get back, let me talk.
You're going to yell for me saying that's got to be a foul? No, listen, if I got 4 guys down there, then I have to do it. If it's just 1 guy at the head coach or 2 assistants, then I can deal with that. But if it's 4 guys down there, then I'm going to have to do it. But at the same time, that's when we're going to throw. Grab them in the pool, you can throw them in the pool. Hey, attack the ball, move! Attack the ball! Yeah, I can see that.
Oh my gosh.
Plenty of passion on the St. Mary's sideline. Regular season conference champs. Bench shown a yellow. That's a couple of yellow cards. One on Blasco for diving and one for the overzealous sharing of, sound like Sandra Bullock movie recommendations from up here, but I've got a little wax in the ears. It's been a couple of months since I've been to the old Q-tip store. Blasco trying to take us back to the goal store here. And he surfed that one to Pendred, who claims it. Pendred just wide. Wow. Adu almost makes something out of nothing. Blasco slipped on the initial feed there, and Pendred found it, turned with it. Maybe a foot the other way, it would have at least hit the post. Might have ended up slotted in. Pendred has really had a heck of a game. He looked a touch frustrated there after missing that. Obviously, he wants every goal. But a good bit of creation there after the vociferous exchange of ideas, opinions, and everything in between. The Rattler bench and our refereeing crew. Flores bursting through here. Oh, Flores. Oh, Flores looking for Pendred. Turned away. That's St. Mary's fan section really into it right now. There's a Hilltopper down on the far side. I think they've just gotten Blasco for a foul. 3:45 to go. A game that has been littered with fouls. Just saw its 27th foul. 9 on St. Mary's, 18 on the Hilltoppers of St. Edwards. Pendred touches it back to right. Ali tripped out. Wright has had a rough go of it here today. He's done everything he can, but this Hilltopper club, they have just made him work for every single inch. Wright going to get it right back here from Blasco. Foul there, I believe, on Spitzer. Oh, Wright on a run. Wright, it all loaded. He hits it off the bar. What a run, but could not quite finish it off. Holy moly, Rattlers picking up more metal than an Ozzy Osbourne concert. 2 bars and a post. Hopefully Ozzy is out there listening in internet, radio, and television land tonight. Hey, Ozzy, how you doing? We got a lot of celebrities who do tune into these broadcasts. Don't think otherwise. Speaking of celebrities, Denny Cresto into the game here, and Blasco is out. 2 minutes to go. Right on an amazing run. That's a heck of a run from Ali. Great ball fed to him and just tipped it off the top of the bar. Now St. Edward's looking for the miraculous goal late. Severde able to stop it up, and that's a heck of an effort there by Mr. Kean Foley. Ibarachi going to Pendred, and Pendred may have been pushed. Looked like he was sent down, though Zausch is saying I didn't do anything. He will still be shown the card. Obviously, the St. Mary's bench has been asking for the refs to look at that. There's been a lot of that defending from behind, just not letting these Rattler attackers get any room to turn. A lot of it's been clean. But there, Zausch, I do believe he did a little pushing. And we've seen nice slice of the deck in terms of yellow cards here in the second half. It's been, wow, about as hard fought as you can imagine. 90 seconds left. Wilson looking for Pendred, snuffed immediately by St. Edward's. Pretty good anticipating these Rattler passes tonight. They're on the break here with some space. Pendred getting back to help disrupt. He gets a piece of a pass. It does trickle through, though, to Clark, the goal scorer in the second half for St. Edward's. Gets it to Fife. 69 seconds to go. Fife runs it back. Rodriguez. Rattler's taken away. Pendred looking for right out of the middle. Conference Player of the Year. Stuck a boot after it. Ends up with Flores. Rattler fans going nuts. Flores to right. Poked outside Morrison. Morrison had to go out of bounds. He tosses it quickly to right with 40 seconds to go. Ali back through Alan Peralt, the hero right now, sends it forward. Touched out of the air. Fife gathered. Sent back forward. Rattler's trying to get it there to Ibarachi, who's gone toward the middle of the field now. 24 seconds to go. There's a hot air balloon coming down deep in Rattler territory. Making a run on it is Payares. Payares ends up on the carpet. St. Edward's sideline in disbelief. They thought they had a foul there, and potentially a great angle at the goal. I don't think the fall came in the box. No whistle, though, and we're going to overtime. Final seconds, 2 and 1. Free soccer here tonight on the campus of St. Mary's. I'll tell you, I was thinking about swinging by Dollar Tree and just hanging out for 45 minutes to an hour before I was going to go to bed, but those plans have officially been canceled. Let me call Dollar Tree up right now and tell them I won't be on the way. Instead, I'll stick here right with you on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. What a half! Clark Peralt with the goals, 2-2, as we take a very quick break of a few minutes. Come back with the first overtime period in just a few minutes right here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Chock full of drama here tonight at Sigma Beta Chi Field. Seed 1 versus Seed 4. And this is one of the best football matches I have been to in a long, long time. And put that in some perspective for you, I go down to the YMCA and watch about 6 soccer matches a month in addition to my work here at St. Mary's. So I really have seen a lot of good soccer and a lot of fun here tonight at Sigma Beta Chi Field. St. Mary's tying it up with about 16 to go on the header by Peralt after Clark put one in that put St. Edwards up 2-1. Obviously, both sides have fought really, really hard. And one more shout out before we get going with this first 10-minute overtime period to both teams. Really a great game and really a lot of fun. Great show for the fans. St. Edwards really keeping its season alive with a win here tonight. St. Mary's would play again, maybe even host in the regional round if St. Mary's loses this game. Still, the season will continue on, but this club has its sights set on a tournament crown as well as a Lone Star Conference regular season crown. 2 10-minute overtime periods if necessary, and then a 5-person shootout. It is golden goal, so next goal will finish it off. St. Edwards trying to get out to a quick start. And Blasco back into the game is immediately tripped up by Piares. There's been about 30 fouls here tonight, and that's just quite a few, isn't it? Actually, there hasn't been 30 fouls. That was just foul 29. 21 now on St. Edwards. Wilson boots it forward, but just boots it right to Goyan. And tip of the cap to Kellen Goyan, this youngster from Portland, Oregon. Obviously, he's given up a couple of goals, but playing beyond his years in the net. Future very bright for St. Edwards between the pipes here going forward. Pretty calm and composed. Rattlers trying to find a way past him for a third time. This is one heck of a soccer match. And these fans here at St. Mary's, both sides have been very, very into it. It has been one of those evenings where it's good to clap your hands just to stay warm. It's about 45 now here in San Antonio. But a lot of reason to cheer for both sides. First of 2 10s potentially. Ibarachi getting it to number 10 right, who almost had that beautiful run and finish. Had a great run, hit it off the bar in the closing couple of minutes. There's Flores centering toward Pendred. Loose toward the top of the box. Cleared out by St. Edwards, and they've done a good job of that. I think St. Edwards, for the most part, has been pretty good about clearing the ball. Early on, it was maybe a little stop and go for him on that end, but done a pretty good job to reject a lot of opportunities by a potent Rattler attack that's run in a lot of ways through Pendred. He's the last to touch this as it does get out of bounds. Going to be a sub here for St. Edwards. That's Alexander Tejeda who's going to come into the game, and Eddie Villatoro is out. 13-11. St. Edwards won the battle of the shots. But again, they had a dozen shots in the first half, so only one in that second half. They still won the battle of the shots and the shots on goal 7-5. Sale and Roebuck combining for 5 saves on the St. Mary's end. Goyan with 3 saves on the St. Edwards end. Fresh legs here. Tejeda trying to find a way through. Looks for a seam. He's got a man. Hilltoppers threatening, and they blast it over the bar. Wow. Golden opportunity for Piares, and he ended up going to the helium tank and sending that into the lower reaches of the stratosphere. Holy moly, wow. Piares, a chance to finish there. And lifting the jersey over his head. Couldn't believe that he mishit that. Just didn't get it cleanly. And Roebuck, who hasn't really had to face too many tests in the back since coming in a little before the halfway point of the second for Sale, shortly after he gave up that goal to Clark. Boots it loose. St. Edwards trying to reignite the fire. Fife trying to get to the middle. Got past Morrison. Touches off to Tejeda. Man, what a game. Opportunities both sides. And here's Bischoff trying to get another opportunity for St. Edwards, and leaks through over Wilson. Chance here, a twirl, and almost a miraculous finish by Michaelis Clark, who had that second goal for St. Edwards. Wilson ended up taking a spill after that got over his head. Usually he's the last back. And credit Clark for a good run, and St. Edwards is putting the pressure on. Again, that was something that Johnny Clifford talked about before the game, just that his club might have some problems tonight with a St. Edwards team that has everything to lose and yet nothing to lose at the same time. This Hilltopper team has really fought us, and this youngster Clark has been really, really impressive for them. Threads one to Tejeda. Tejeda looking for a corner, anticipated well by Flores. Goes through Morrison. Foley had it briefly. It's blasted out of bounds by George Murray, who's done a pretty good job in the middle of the field. Really been around the ball a lot. And St. Edwards, for a good piece of this game, has been the more confident outfit. They've won a lot of 50-50 type balls, helped with their confidence, but some of that returning to St. Mary's since the score became 2-2. Right to Ibarachi. Ibarachi toward the middle of the field, asserting himself. Looking for Flores on the outside in the box. Flores trying his luck. It's turned away by the defense. Gets it back. Flores! Mostaza! Rattlers on to the championship! Flores on a second chance opportunity, and they're going crazy at Sigma Beta Chi Field! What a moment! 4:45 into overtime. Marlon Flores smashing it up like a metal rake through the windshield of a Nissan Maxima. It is done. And I am absolutely thrilled with this matchup. A great game by both teams. An absolutely thrilling match between two great teams. Both top four seeds really on level footing. And an incredible finish. 2 chances for St. Edwards in front of the goal. Skied them both, and then Flores sticking with it after having it turned away initially. And Flores, a hero this evening. Marlon with his second goal of the season. And have you felt energy like that this year at Sigma Beta Chi Field? An explosion from the St. Mary's faithful. And we were glad to bring it to you live right here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. An incredible finish, 4:45 into overtime, a historic moment for the St. Mary's University Rattler program. The regular season conference champs pushed to the brink. Down by a goal, 16 left. Peralt, an incredible header off the feed from Blasco. Wright hit a bar in the last 2 minutes. There were 2 bars and a post hit by the Rattler offense. Everything they could handle from a St. Edwards team that had just a phenomenal end of the season. But in the end, the Rattlers, some magic, some perseverance, and ultimately a W here on a cold Friday night in San Antonio, Texas. My, oh my, oh my, oh my. I've got a garbage bag of shredded newspaper for everybody here in the press box to burn and keep warm here. Warm up, everybody. Or I guess you could just go to your vehicles. We are done here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. This has been our neutral broadcast of our semifinal matchups here on Friday. Congrats to both teams. And a big-time shout-out again to St. Edwards on just a great season. And a big-time shout-out to St. Mary's on what has been a magical run continuing. 1 p.m. Sunday, the top 2 seeds, St. Mary's Midwestern State, will meet for the 3rd time this season. And we will bring you the action live, completely live, right here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Until then, Joey Zanaboni signing off live from San Antonio. This has been Lone Star Conference Soccer right here on the LSC Digital Network.